It's getting late early in Florida. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, visit areyouontrack.togetin.com. Again, that's areyouontrack.togetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. Before the 24-25 admission cycle, Florida State offered an early action admissions plan for Florida residents only. And that plan basically ran as follows. If you were a Florida resident and applied by October 15th, you would also get your materials, your supplementary sort of materials in by October 22nd. Then you would get your decision from Florida State if you were, again, a Florida resident applying by an October 15th deadline with the rest of your materials in by October 22nd. You would hear by mid-December whether or not you earned admission to Florida State. Otherwise, Florida State had a regular deadline for all other applicants of December 1st, and materials were due December 8th, and those applicants would hear of their decision middle of February. They also offer rolling admission after that. But the other two really big schools, state schools in Florida, University of Central Florida and UF, that's University of Florida, did not offer early action opportunities for first-year applicants. Well, my, how times are changing, and they're changing fast. For the 24-25 admission cycle, University of Florida, if you want to become a Florida Gator, you now must know that University of Florida has an early action deadline for not just Florida residents, but for any applicant who is a first-time student in college or wants to be a first-time student in college. UF's early action deadline for the 24-25 admission cycle is November 1st. The materials supporting your application beyond the actual submitted application itself must all be received by University of Florida by November 15th. And if they are, and you've applied by November 1st for this new early action deadline at University of Florida, you will receive your admissions decision as a first-year applicant by January 24th, 2025. And you have all the way up until May 1st to make your admissions decision. This is not binding in any way, shape, or form. Anytime you hear the words early action together, it's non-binding, all right? Early decision is binding, but we're not talking about early decision today. We're just talking about early action in this video because Florida State has offered for Florida residents early action. Now, and they're going to continue to do so, now UF is going to introduce in the 24-25 admission cycle this new early action, again, non-binding deadline of November 1st. You'll hear by late January, and not to be outdone, University of Central Florida, which is quite popular with the kids these days, as they say. University of Central Florida is now joining in and making it a trifecta of Florida publics offering early action. But again, they're going to be offering it to out-of-state students just like in-state students, unlike Florida State, which is still reserved for Florida State residents only. But University of Central Florida now, they like it really early in Orlando. Let me tell you something. They're going to have an early action deadline of October 15th for summer and fall 2025 admission. And the deadline for supporting materials will be November 1st. And that's inclusive of, when we talk about supporting materials in Florida, what we're really talking about there is these self-reported transcripts, basically. So that's a whole annoyance for students that have not been through this before, like most students have not. I've been through this almost for 20 years now, and this self-reported stuff has really caught on in the last 5 to 10 years, particularly in environments like the Florida state schools find themselves, where they don't want to have to process transcripts on their own, so they make the students do the legwork of basically self-reporting the transcripts. But the deadline for the application to be submitted is October 15th for UCF for your new early action plan. But the materials, i.e. the self-reported academic record, which is submitted on, I think, their own portal. It's not the other SRAR. It's sort of their own. I forget what they call it there, but I'm not going to look it up right now because I'm not going to interrupt my flow. But whatever the case may be, that's what basically is supporting material. Also, of course, official test scores. If you want to send official test scores, which I think is required that you at least report your scores, if not completely submit official scores. Those are the sort of materials we're talking about when we're talking about materials due within 15 days of October 15th, i.e. November 1st. But if you get your application in by October 15th to UCF and you get your materials in by November 1st, guess what? This is amazing. This is actually the most amazing part of this video. You're going to get an admissions decision from University of Central Florida by November 15th. They're going to get back to you within a month of when you submit your application. I mean, if you submit it on October 15th. If you submit it on October 1st, it will take a month and a half. But they're going to have a very fast turnaround. Let's say you submit it on October 15th. You're going to hear November 15th. This is before Thanksgiving. I used to say early decision, early action schools give you a nice Christmas gift or holiday gift or New Year's gift. Well, now with UCF, I should say that they're going to give you a nice Thanksgiving gift. This is amazing. November 15th, 2024 is when you will receive your notification of hopefully your acceptance. I mean, I guess you could be rejected, of course, as well. And I'm sorry if that happens to you. But you could also be deferred for later consideration. But let's pray you get in and you get a very nice early Thanksgiving gift from University of Central Florida, if that is a school on your list. Now, UCF will continue to roll out decisions for those who apply after October 15th. That's officially considered their regular decision situation. You know, regular decision deadlines are quite late there. They'll just keep accepting as long as they have space at University of Central Florida. But they'll roll out decisions for that crew, just like they always traditionally rolled out decisions in different tranches for UCF. But again, now for the early birds, the early action kids who are applying by October 15th, which I highly recommend you do, if University of Central Florida is on your list, you will get your admissions decision before Thanksgiving, November 15th. Because again, you're getting your application in by October 15th. So the early bird gets the worm. Get in line early and you'll get your decision early. And, I think that behooves you, particularly at a school like University of Central Florida. Now, again, if you're sort of on the cusp of not getting in based off of your grades or your scores, you may want to delay a little bit sometimes, or at least that's sometimes what people think. But guess what? I'm a big believer in saying that, look, if your scores and your grades aren't where they need to be, in most cases, 1 or 2 more months is not going to change things. So I still recommend early action when that's available at a big state school like all of these are. But again, unfortunately, if you're from out of state, meaning from outside of Florida, you can't even apply early action at Florida State, because they reserve that for in-state residents. But for out-of-state residents, the UCF early action option for 24-25 and the UF early action option for 24-25 admission cycle is very intriguing indeed. Now, let me tell you one more thing. I am offering a new product during the 24-25 admission cycle known as My Pre-Read. If you feel like you have all your ducks in a row, you've done the very best job you possibly can on your application to any school, but let's say you're applying to UF on the Common App, and you would like to have my pre-read of it before you hit submit, or maybe even after you hit submit, because maybe you only find out about this opportunity after you've already submitted it, but you're still curious as you wait on your admissions decision to determine what my thoughts are on whether or not you gave it the old college try, or maybe you could do more, or you should have done more, depending on if you've already submitted it. Hopefully you haven't submitted it, and maybe you can still do more to potentially increase your quality of application. That is when my pre-read makes a lot of sense for you. Again, this happens when you've finished your Common App and now you want to know if it's as strong as possible and whether or not in its current condition, your chances of admission are impressive, inconclusive, or inadequate. Getting my pre-read during the 24-25 admission cycle means having me review your entire application, just like an admissions officer or admissions committee will review it later, and receiving by email no later than the time you've reserved on my website a comprehensive report highlighting what's working and what's not on your full Common App, and let's say again your UF supplement or maybe your Florida State supplement. That would be very exciting. So you got to pick one college for this. You can do it multiple times for different colleges, but one college at a time for each pre-read. If you've yet to submit your Common App, my pre-read may motivate you to make adjustments before it is too late and your deadline has come and gone. But if you've already submitted your Common App, my pre-read will prepare you for what I deem to be your likely admissions outcome at the institution in question. So definitely consider my pre-read. To learn more about my pre-read and book it now for you, this very exciting new service I'm offering. It's not really a service, it's more of a product that I'm offering, because you're just going to get an email from me with a comprehensive report, and that is the product. To learn more, go to mypreread.com right now. That's again, mypreread.com. I've tried to make it simple. mypreread.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, or maybe just for part of it, go to my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.